Pressure from rising claim severity, social inflation, and erosions in tort reform continue to generate headwinds for the U.S. medical professional liability segment. A new AM Best report on this segment notes a collective underwriting loss of $712 million in 2025 from insurers that primarily write MPL business. This is compared with $546 million losses reported in 2024. We're joined today by two of the authors of that report, Associate Director Vicky Riggs and Associate Director Connor Brach. And Vicky, starting with you, the report notes an increase in underwriting losses combined with a slowdown in premium growth. Can you take us through some of those numbers and explain what's behind that?
Yes, along with the uptick in losses and loss adjustment expenses, other underwriting expenses increased in dollar terms, with policyholder dividends holding steady. Premium growth in 2025 was generally below expectations, reflecting competitive forces impacting carriers pushing for higher rate increases amid claim severity. So as a result, underwriting losses increased year over year.
Vicky, what role did investment results play here?
Underwriting losses were offset by increasing net investment income and capital gains. With underwriting margins remaining negative, investment performance has been the primary source of profitability, as investment income has more than doubled from 2021 to 2025 amid the ongoing relatively higher interest rate environment.
Connor, the report indicates that reserve releases aren't having quite the same impact as in past years. Can you explain what you're seeing there?
Yeah, John. And so reserve releases have historically been a very significant component of underwriting profitability for MPL writers. And while there were sizable $1 billion plus redundancies recognized in earlier years, such as 2015 through 2017, the impact has been much more muted lately. And so in 2025, the MPL composite reported a modest $155 million of favorable development. And as a result of that lower amount of development, the difference between the accident year and calendar year combined ratios has narrowed significantly. But overall, the percentage of AM Best rated organizations within the MPL composite reporting favorable development was consistent year over year at 75%. And AM Best believes the overall MPL industry's 2025 calendar year end booked net loss and LAE reserves are appropriate and will ultimately prove to be redundant by approximately $0.1 billion, including the effect of $0.6 billion of statutory discounting.
Connor, what are you seeing within some of these subsegments of coverage, such as physicians and hospitals?
Yeah, and so within the MPL composite, the physician segment continues to be the largest in terms of premium at more than $5 billion, although it has been shrinking as a percentage of total premium as hospitals have gained some ground over the years through stable employment opportunities. Hospital premiums shrank about 7% in 2025, but remained roughly $2 billion. Many hospitals are retaining more risk through increased self-insured retentions and captive structures, which is reducing the amount of premium placed with traditional MPL insurers. Premium from other healthcare professionals rose 5.7% and topped $1 billion in 2025. And this provider type has seen this most significant premium growth rate over the most recent 5-year period, as MPL insurers are attempting to achieve appropriate rate for these advanced practice provider exposures. From a direct incurred loss ratio standpoint, other healthcare professionals have typically performed the best with a 5-year average loss ratio of 43, while physicians have typically produced slightly higher direct incurred loss ratios with a 5-year average of 48.5, although with low volatility. Hospitals have really been under the most significant pressure in terms of profitability, with their direct incurred loss ratios rising steadily from 2021 through 2024 before declining modestly in 2025. And they're perceived as having deep pockets, and so they've been more significantly impacted by social inflation pressures and nuclear verdicts compared to other healthcare provider types.
Vicky, could you talk about some of the discussions you're having on the state level tort reform measures? What impacts are those having on MPL insurers?
Sure, John. Tort reform challenges continue to impact reserving adequacy and settlement practices. While there have been some positive implications based on state-level tort reform surrounding the transparency and disclosure of third-party litigation funding, I think there were more than 50 bills introduced this year. Expert witness standards, the increasing caps on non-economic damages will continue to place pressure and uncertainty on carriers operating in those states, as well as states absent any kind of meaningful tort reform.
Thanks, Vicky. Connor.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, John.
That was AM Best Associate Directors Vicky Riggs and Connor Brach. You can find the full report online at ambest.com. For AM Best TV, I'm John Weber.